Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the session. And today we have a topic to discuss about Ansible, how to use Ansible for infrastructure provisioning in AWS. So before I proceed with session, um, this session will be recorded and will be available in the same YouTube URL, YouTube channel. Yeah, it will be there. So whichever you are watching now, yeah, it will be there. So if you missed or if you want to go somewhere, of course you can do and watch it later. Another important thing is if you have any question, always ask in the chat or comment box. We will try our best to answer that one. And if you think you have any, it's not working, something not visible or something not audible, please tell in the chat box, so I will be able to know. Hope I am audible and all good so far. Please bear with me. I have a few slides first, so I will just explain how this is working. Then we will go to the demonstration and explain how to use this in the real life. So for our case, we will use this Ansible for deploying some infrastructure in AWS, and we will use Ansible for configuring these servers as well. We know we had previous sessions and all the recordings are available in the same YouTube channel. You can check under the live sessions or under the recorded session and let me know if you are not able to find anything. I will help on that one. Okay. Hope we can start. We don't need to wait for anyone. Okay, so today we have a small agenda, very small one. So we will go to the introduction first, how and what. Then we will explain what is not. We don't need to explain, but we will just go through. Okay, what is infrastructure as code, and what are the tools available for this IAC, and why we are using Ansible as IAC, and how to use Ansible as IAC for AWS. Then we will see it in action. We will do the demonstration. And of course, we will wait for the questions and we will answer whatever possible. Okay. So what is infrastructure as code? Infrastructure as code is basically it's a simple one. It's a simple process of managing and provisioning the infrastructure or the computer, data center, network, storage, everything through the machine readable code or the declarative code and manage using the same tool. Instead of going to the cloud console or the VMware console or your GCP console, you can do most of the things using the code. That's why we call infrastructure as code. Let's say you have some changes in the infrastructure, you want to add server or you want to change the server resource or server CPU or memory. Instead of going to the console and change it, you can change the code and reapply it. Hope you are aware of this Terraform thing. I'm not going to explain in detail what is Terraform, how it's working, but we will go through the tools first. We have several tools available for IAC in market now, many actually, but these are the well-known tools. We have Terraform, we have Plumi, then we have a cloud-specific tools like CloudFormation for AWS, Deployment Manager for GCP, and ARM for Azure Resource Manager. And we have other small tools for the development setup called Vagrant, Ansible, etc. Sorry, Ansible, Saltstack, Chef Puppet. Actually, these are IAC tools, but still, those are mainly using for configuration management rather than IAC. So, if you talk about real IAC tools, I will say Terraform and Pulumi is the best one. Not best one. I mean, those are really for this IAC purpose. There are a few others, but we are not going to cover that one. And this Ansible, whatever, and the below one are like Ansible, Puppet, Chef, Saltstack are for mainly for configuration management. You can use, but we are not going to cover that one. In our case, our today's session is like why we are using Ansible as IAC, and what is the easiness, because we have a Terraform or other tools available to manage IAC. Because Ansible, we all know it's an open source automation tool with simple automation languages. Like you can write your playbook in simple YAML format which is a human readable, and anyone can understand, okay, what is a code, what is it doing, etc. um, why we are using Ansible? Because right now the operations is complicated. Like everything we are doing manually. Like we get the details about, for example, it's a AWS or GCP or Azure. We get the details about the cluster region. Then you have to collect the details about the network, VPC, subnet, or whatever the net name, whatever you call in on for the cloud. Then you have to create the VPC sometimes. Then you have to create the security groups, network policies, servers, virtual machine. Then you have to attach this additional disk. And once you have the virtual machines, then you have to install software packages, create user, configure policies, all those things. Um, so even this cloud, you can say it's a cloud. It's very simple because you can simply go to the console and create all those things. But it's not that simple, for the proper one, you have to do all the things in order, like creating the sub VPC things, the proper subnets, a private subnet or public subnet, all those things. In our case, um, we can do the same thing using Terraform kind of tools or Vagrant or other tools, but in some cases we have to use Ansible. Let's say your organization is using Ansible Tower or something, and they don't want to introduce new tools and they want to manage everything using a single tool like Ansible. In that case, you can still use Ansible as IAC or infrastructure as code, because Ansible has already module available for most of the cloud platforms. You have community modules, you have supported modules from the Red Hat, you have other modules from the vendor like AWS is providing their own modules, and also you can get modules from the community. Maybe there will be community edition. So you can choose any and do this work. If you check, we have modules available for GCP, AWS, Azure, IBM, Oracle, VMware, OpenStack, all the cloud, I will say. So you can go to the link and see what are the cloud modules available right now. Okay, so it's already there. So you just need to use the module and just start coding. I mean, creating the playbook. Um, if you ask me about AWS, actually plenty of modules and plugins are available for AWS from the community, also from the AWS itself, and you can manage, I will say, most of the resources using these modules. And let's say if you don't have modules, of course we can use the API support. We are not covering that, but yeah, the option is there. So AWS and Ansible will work, I mean, together very well actually. So one of the module is Ec2 instance. So the module, if you see the name in the module, change in the module, actually, if you are using the module from collection, it will be like AWS dot kind of path, the FQD, the fully qualified name. I'm just using the module name here. Then using this module, you can create instance, manage the instance properties like start, stop. Then you can restart, you can shut down. You can adjust other properties of this EC2 instance, one or more instances. So another module is called security groups. You can create security group in AWS with all the rules. So all the rules you put in the playbook, or you can put in the variable list, and it will be easy for you to do this. Same like the Terraform. So instead of Terraform, you put everything in variable, and Ansible will read the variable and create this security group or the instances accordingly. Good. In our case, I told you there are many modules. So we are just going through the important one. One is VC2, then we have security groups, we have VPC, we have subnet, all those other. But the another important one we are going to use in this demo is Elastic Load Balancers. So the module name is ELB application underscore LB. So you can use this module for creating ELBs, and also you have other modules for creating the target group. Yeah, most of them are already there. If you have any question on these modules, I will share the URL later, so you will know what are the modules available, what are the items you can use already. Then yeah, so these are the modules available. So it's very pretty straightforward, and that's all for the theory part. And yeah, we will go through the actual thing. Okay, so Okay. Okay. I check the code first. Are you speaking today about Ansible with OpenShift? No. This is about Ansible and Ansible, how to use Ansible for provisioning and managing infrastructure in AWS, not OpenShift. We have a session to discuss about the container technology very soon, uh, but not, unfortunately, it's not about OpenShift. We can plan it one day. Yeah, sure. Okay. So this is my uh, infrastructure provisioning code. So the first thing you have to do is you have to set up your AWS credential. Of course, you want to use the credential to access the AWS environment, and you have to tell Ansible how to use it. Actually, in Ansible, you have an option. You have two options to pass this credential. One method is using the secret key and access key directly inside the playbook, and another method is using the AWS bottom profile. So if you have a question on this AWS, you have a detailed article already available on the internet. So you can use that. Maybe we can share this, how to do this. Okay, we have this article here in techbeatly.com. Um, you have to set up this first. So the first thing is like you set up this credential. So you know how to get the set up these plugins, all those things. This is normal, nothing to do with Ansible. If you want to use AWS CLI, you have to do this. So you install this AWS CLI either with installing AWS CLI or without, also fine. And you have to um, create this secret access key and the secret key for your AWS login or your AWS account. So it will be here. So you have to pass this and you have to configure this credential under your home directory or whatever the path. Okay, so this article is here. I can just copy paste if you want. I will put in the YouTube link later anyway. Okay, so once you configure, okay, now you don't need to, because this is not hard coded anywhere. So the Ansible will use the existing AWS credential you already configured. So either using the secret key SSC, I will explain how, or using the bottom profile. If you have multiple profile like this, here I have two profile. So one is a default one, and I have access key and secret key, and I have another user too. Maybe this is my another account, my different company account or something like that. So I create multiple profile here. Okay. If you have multiple profile, you have to mention which profile to use, and Ansible will use that. So here I mentioned, okay, AWS bottom profile to use Ansible. So I have a profile called Ansible here. Now we will check before we go to the playbook. Let me explain the variable here. So I have a few variables here like VPC ID. I will fetch automatically. I will explain. Then we have some name for the target, web target, some name for the security group, some name for the ELB, and some name. I just mentioned which AMI I need to use. So here I am using AWS or Amazon Linux to AMI. Great. So this variable you can change. So this is the code. So if you want to deploy on different region, you set the region here, you set some items here. You just need to change this variable, execute the playbook, the infrastructure will be ready. That's the idea. Okay. Another item is credential. So here I have a credential, but it's already encrypted. But I'm not going to use this credential. Instead, I am using the AWS bottom profile. Please remember that. Then another item is the EC2 list. I'm just giving this EC2 list here. So the playbook will act as a separate thing, and it won't be anything. I mean, nothing will be hard coded. So you can just use different variables, different sets, different variables, different region, and you can create the same infrastructure as you need. That's why I call it infrastructure as code. Okay, you don't need to go to the console and change anything. Great. So this one I'm creating two instances here. You can see this is the EC2 new list. I just put a variable name, and I have one instance here, second instance here. I just give some name for the instance, and I just mentioned what is the key to be used. Again, the key also I am creating using Ansible. So if you go to the console, we will go to the console and see if anything exists there. So everything we put in the code, nothing we are going to create on the console and use it. Everything as code. Okay. Now, so let's explain how this playbook will work. So the first thing is we have multiple roles here. You can see a lot of roles. So the first thing is I am fetching the VPC details. I have two options. Either I can fetch the default VPC ID. I need the ID, so I just fetch the default VPC ID using a role. So maybe I can uh, explain this. So I just fetching ID using a module called EC2 VPC net info. So you have already a module. You just need to pass the profile. So I'm telling Ansible the profile and the region, and Ansible will fetch the default VPC ID here. So I have the VPC ID already. Good. Then I fetch the what are the subnets available, and I collect the subnet VPC subnets in a list. So I don't need to pass or I don't need to hard code anything, because we know different subnets, different subnet ID will be there, and also for different region it will change. So we cannot hard code anything. Instead, we just collect it. If you want to create the VPC, then create VPC subnet. Of course, you can code that as well. Up to you. Okay. In our case, in for this demo, we are just fetching the default VPC and existing subnets. Great. Second one is we are creating a security group. So we go and check here. It's a creating security group. It's a simple task. We just pass the security. We just call the EC2 group module and pass the information like I need a description. I need this name. I need the VPC ID, region, and I pass what are the rules needed there. So I have two rules here. One is for the SSH, and the second one is for HTTP, because I'm just going to install a web server later. Okay. So we have a key pair. So maybe I can explain that as well. So create key pair is here. We have another task for key pair, another role, and it's simple. Everything is, you can see I'm just using the module with very basic information. Great. Now we have to create the ELB target group. Then we create the ELB, the elastic load balancer. Then we create the actual EC2 instance. So this part is the actual infrastructure provisioning. You can see I'm creating all the required items, and I create the EC2 instance, because inside the EC2 instance I am using all these items. For example, I have this first I need to check, because in infrastructure as a code, when you have this item, you should not create it again and again, because every time you run, if you create more and more instances, it's not actually good. So first we will check whether the instance is there. So I fetch the EC2 details, what are the EC2 available. Then I check the name of the instance. Then I will create only if the instance is not there. So we have some validation here before I execute. And I will share the playbook. This is open. I will share the playbook via GitHub later if you want to refer. Then I have this EC2 module, which I'm calling for creating the EC2 instances. Earlier I mentioned about this border profile. See, you can see either you can use the border profile, or you can use like access key, secret key, like that. If you have a common access key for your team and it's already encrypted, you can use that. Great. If you have your own profile, you can use the profile also. Up to you. You have both options in the module. Then we create the EC2. Then we have to collect what are the EC2 modules, and we will wait for, sorry, what are the EC2 created. Then we will wait for the EC2 up and running, because we know it will take a few seconds to about, I think, half a minute to create the instance up and running the operating system. So we will wait for the port 22, make sure this is up and running. Now we have it's ready. Then we will add this EC2 instance details inside a temporary list. Before that, we will do few things. One is we will register the EC2 instances under the target group. We already created this target group in the previous steps, and these EC2 instances will be added to the target group. Hope you know what is the target group. Then we have adding. We will add these EC2 instances to a inventory dynamically, and we are using add host because the EC2 instance we don't know, it's a dynamic thing, right? You just created, you don't know what are the IP, what are the name, what is the instance ID, what are the public IP, you don't know anything. So we are collecting the EC2 instance details dynamically from the playbook. So you have a inventory here, you collected this inventory, and what is the next task? So after creating the EC2 instance, okay, your infrastructure is ready. So this part is already done. You can do using Ansible, using the Terraform or other things. So once you create the infrastructure, I need to deploy some software inside, some packages inside, some web servers. I need to start some service. So I am calling another play, and I am using the dynamic inventory I have created here. So I will call like deploy web server, and I'm just using the EC2 user because the key pair I already created here, I have already access. So if you check the key pair, creating the key pair option, here I am using my on ID RSA, means the current one. That means I will have access to the machine using my ID using the EC2 user. So I said the remote user EC2 user, then I call this dynamic inventory, and I call my role to deploy the web server. So the deploy web server is nothing. It will just deploy all the, you can see here. So we are just creating the word www.html, set the permission. Then we install HTTPD, firewall-D. Then we enable firewall-D and enable the HTTP port. Then we enable the HTTP running, and make sure it's running in the next reboot. Then I check out my website, my source code. So I have this website code in some Git repository. I push this. You can use anything. I'm just using some random one available on the internet on GitHub. I pull this one and put inside word www.html. Then I set some host name. I just want to make sure my load balancer is working. Okay, so we are creating security group, key pair. Then we are creating EC2 instance, target group, and ELP. Great. You can create more like VPC subnets, but yeah, you can do that using Ansible. So this is a playbook. So first we will check here. This is my AWS dashboard. You can see I'm just checking first any EC2 instance running, nothing, it's blank. Then I check key pair. I have two key pair, but I'm going to use another one. I will show you later. Security groups, I have few security groups, but this is nothing to do with our case. So we will create new here. So this one you can see created using Terraform and all, ignore that one. Then we have a target group, nothing. Load balancer, nothing. So nothing, it's all we are going to create using Ansible from end to end. Great. In some cases, you can use the auto scaling group, kind of a launch configuration, all those things if you need. It's up to you, and it depends on your requirement. So no harm. So we are using the AMI and Ansible playbook to init this one. Even you can use the startup or boot up script for deploying these packages, all those things, but we use Ansible for everything. Great. Okay. I think we don't need to explain anything else. I will share this playbook later if you want to refer. So the first thing we have to do is we are calling the playbook. So I'm calling this playbook, Ansible playbook, AWS infra provisioning. So I have two playbook. One is for the provisioning, and maybe I can explain that, and another one for destroying. So Terraform, you have Terraform apply and Terraform destroy. So apply will create or modify things, and destroy will destroy every resources. In our case, this provisioning, I have to create everything separately because Ansible is not the real IAC, but still you can do is, but you have to handle this destroy, creation, everything in your playbook. If you check the destroy, we are doing almost same thing, but the destroy part. So we have to fetch the VPCs. I am using the same role to fetch the VPC details. So before going to the destroy, I will explain. And delete EC2 instances. So if you check the delete EC2, so I'm just calling the same module, and I pass this EC2 instance ID. So I have to collect EC2 instance ID using this module. Uh, then I have to call this creation. Then I terminate the EC2 instance. So you can see few options here: collecting the information, then you remove the security group, because EC2 instance will take some time to terminate, and the next task is for deleting the security group. If the security group already in use by instance, then you won't be able to delete the security group. This is a known thing in AWS. So I will remove the security group before I delete the instance, and I terminate it. Good. And we have other tasks for deleting the application elastic load balancer. Then we delete the key pair, delete or the target group, security group, everything, whatever we created, we will delete using the destroy playbook. Right? Which ID? Yes, VS Code. Thanks, Nathan. Yes, thank you. Okay, I think we can execute this and wait, and I will explain while executing the playbook. So we are calling this playbook, and I pass this information called EC2 web server. This is my dynamic group need to use. I was explaining earlier. So Ansible will use this inventory web group option here. So I have to pass this. That's it. Then it's collecting the VPC subnet information. It's creating the security group, creating the key pair. Okay, let's go and check. And also the ELB target group. Because we go and check here, load balancer not yet created. Target group. Great, we have a target group created, but it's not, no targets are added yet. And EC2 dashboard, it's still creating, it's fine. So we have security groups. Okay, we have a security group created, Ansible IAC demo SG, and already you can see there are inbound rules as per our Ansible playbook configuration. So you can, it's already there, it's already created. Then we have a key pair already created, Ansible IAC demo key. So it's all done by Ansible. Now it's creating the EC2 instances. It will take a bit time. You will see, hopefully no error. Okay, now it's okay, creating the ELB, because ELB also will take some time, you know. It will create the ELB and attach the target group. So we go and check whether the ELB. Great, we have the ELB already created, but the status is still provisioning. That's why it is taking some time. And if you check the listener, you can see here, it should be here. Because we already told, okay, you have to use this target group here. Still provisioning, okay. Yeah, usually it's a AWS delay. We cannot do anything. So once provision, we will check what are the listener. We don't have any listener now. Okay, so maybe the question: can I know how will install configure Ansible in VSC? Okay, it's not like I install Ansible on VSC. I have this. If you are using Linux, you can use the code. So here I'm calling this. You can open this. Maybe I can show you terminal. So you have integrated terminal in VS Code. You can use that. You cannot. I mean, there is no such thing installing Ansible in VS Code. It's like you are using the existing terminal. So in your Mac, if you are using a Mac, you can use a SH, or if you're using Linux, you can use a Bash terminal here. So I'm just using the terminal and editor here, so it is easy for me. I can edit here, check here, edit here, check here, like that. Okay, you don't need to install anything. Yeah. Terraform. Let's say you have Terraform installed, the same terminal you use, but the Terraform will be available. It's just terminal, but integrated inside the VS Code. Okay, should be completed now by now. Yes, active. You have a listener because this target will be already enabled and added automatically. Great. Now it's already created the ELB. Now it's checking whether the EC2 instances are already there or not. It's not there, so it will create the EC2 instances, and instances already created. It's collecting the newly created EC2 in a list, and it's waiting for the SSH, like it's online or not, like that. Great. I think all good. Now the second part is deploying the web server. We have the second play is running. Maybe we can go and check here. EC2 dashboard, running instances. I have some other instances. That's why I'm just showing these running instances only. Otherwise, you will get confused. So I have two machines here. So I have the public IP, private IP, everything here. All good so far. Now this public IP will be used for Ansible to call this instance in the EC2 browser and install these web servers. Great. As per the playbook, it says all good, all installing firewall D, installing uh, HTTPD, then fetch the basic HTML content, and we set host name. And at the end, I have a task. I just, because I don't know what is it, because I'm not going to log into the AWS console. I don't know what is the ELB name. So I just get this ELB name here. So Ansible is saying, okay, your ELB is available or website is accessible from the load balancer. So we have two machines, and we have a target group, and we have a ELB. Let's go and check this website. Great. So everything installed by Ansible. So you can see it's installed using Ansible, and we have this IP address of the target groups. This one I purposefully display here because we have two machines. Let's try. Now we are getting this response from one server. We will try refresh. Great. We are getting the response from the next server. So we know it's a load balancing based on the, yeah, good. So this is it actually. So the good thing is, like in Ansible, if you run it again and again, Ansible will take care of the instances other than the EC2 instance, because if you create the keeper with the same name again, Ansible will not recreate again. But in EC2, the name, you can create many instances with the same name. So we have to do this validation. Maybe we can try executing the playbook again. So I am executing the same playbook again, like Terraform apply, and see if anything will happen wrong. So we check here and wait. Okay, maybe the questions. How to install Ansible, I already answered. Do you have any video or anything? And also Terraform also same thing. You don't need to install anything inside VS Code. You are using the integrated terminal. It can be Bash, it can be anything. For Ansible, the difference is, like in Windows, you cannot install Ansible anywhere. So I mean, you can install inside a VM or using WSL or some other method. So you cannot really use directly in the VS Code. So it should be like integrated terminal, or you have to use some methods like forget the name. There are some tools you can install, and inside you can install Ansible, but that's not really productive and it's not really useful. Yeah, I still recommend to use inside some virtual machine and use the VS Code inside, like that, or use some Linux dual boot or something like that. Okay. So it's executing again. It's already done, because most of the items are already done. It won't do anything. So if you try here creating the EC2 instance, let's see. Okay, launching EC2 instances. You can see it's skipping because it's already there. And ELB target, it says changed, but nothing will change. If you go and check the website here, it's gone. So what will happen is, in this load balancer setup, we'll go and check whether the things already recreated. So here I think I missed the validation. Sorry for that one. I missed the validation, so I have to enable that validation. Sorry. So I have this new load balancer here, and I have to check here whether maybe the target group is not properly registered. So this kind of validation you can add inside the playbook, and you can execute any times, I mean multiple times, and it won't be a issue. um, so this is a provisioning part. And for the destroy part, I can do the same thing like Ansible playbook, and then what was the playbook name? Sorry, AWS infra destroy. So I have this destroy task playbook. Inside that, I have put a lot of roles which will delete these resources, whatever I created. I have to make sure everything manually. That's the main difference. Terraform, it will keep a state file by which it will know, okay, what are the resource currently running, what is the status, what is the name, what is the resource ID, everything. But in Ansible, you have to take care of this. Still, you can use it like an IAC. Still using, you can use everything as a code. If I want to change something, I just need to change the code, change the name, change the subnet, and Ansible will take care of, I mean, creating, recreating, or renaming all those things. You have to handle it inside the playbook. It's not like fully automatic, but yeah, if you add proper validation, you can do that. Is this website code fetched from GitHub? Yes, it's something common website. I can give you the URL later. Yeah, it's just a plain HTML plus some CSS, some JavaScript thing. That's it. Yeah, it's just, I'm just deploying from here. Okay, currently, okay, I have put a wait time here to make sure that instance are terminated, and it won't show any error. Otherwise, if you delete instance, I mean, it will show terminating or terminated, but when you try to delete the security group, it will throw error. It will say that it's already in use, you cannot delete it. So I put some pause here for 60 seconds. This kind of validation you can do. Otherwise, your playbook failed, then you have to execute it again. Yeah. Okay. Dynamic website code for you. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I can answer one by one. First, fetching the code, I can show you. I have this deploy web server, so I can see here. I'm just using Git to check out one repository to the var www.html. No sound. Anyone else got issue? Hope it's user issue, not the streaming. Let me know otherwise. So this is a var www.html directory. Inside, I put this. I just check out this. Okay. The next question. It's deploy. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for that. Then the question is directly related to provisioning. How to relate? Okay. How to relate dynamic inventory creation? It's very simple actually. We have a module. I will show that one, because this dynamic module is very important, because you have many cases you have to create this dynamic inventory. Like maybe you are deploying something in OpenShift, Kubernetes, or VMware. Everywhere you are creating this, and you have to manage this. So for example, you have to create the instances in VMware or any cloud platform. Then you have to manage the same resource, I mean same VMs, for installing the post creation thing. You need to add these things dynamically. So here inside the EC2 task, I have a task here called add host. Hope this is visible to you. So inside add host, this is a module, and I'm just calling the loop. So I just register, I mean I get the EC2 collector, I mean EC2 existing is sorry for that, EC2 underscore existing collected variable, which is a registered variable where I am fetching the existing uh, instances from my AWS account. So I have some filter here. I don't want to filter because we have hundreds of instances in AWS, VMware, or GCP something. So I have some option here for filtering in this module. So I filter, okay, tag name should be the value of this loop. Then you have instance type should be something, means I just make sure that I am just filtering out the exact instances. Then I use that list and add to the inventory. So this is the dynamic inventory, and this is the dynamic group. This is not added anywhere. If I check, you can see this is my inventory, nothing inside. So I have this only local host, nothing else. So this is a dynamic inventory, and Ansible will use this dynamic inventory in the provisioning. We have a second play. This is a play. If you check, this is a second play. Okay, so in the second play, I'm using this inventory group and execute my deployment playbook on that inventory. So it will be like 1, 2, 3, whatever the inventory you added to the group. Sound is clear. Thank you for that one. Yeah, I hope it's clear, Reggie. So okay, so we already destroyed. You missed to check that one. So we will go and check first any target group. Nothing, it's already clean. Load balancer already clean. Key pair, the IAC one already deleted. Security group, this is the one. I think we have to refresh, gone already. And also the EC2 instances, refresh. Okay, all removed using Ansible. Hope it's clear. If you have any questions, let me know. This is very simple actually. You can add more validations, more checks, everything inside the playbook, so it will be like more and more easy for you, like instead of putting everything inside the playbook, inside the configuration, or inside the playbook, you better don't hardcode anything. So put whatever items you can put inside the variable or somewhere else, or pass while calling the playbook. Even you are in the tower, you can call the extra variable. So make sure you provide that kind of information. Here I have used a variable file for my instance list. uh, Here's this is my YAML for a YAML variable list for my instance name. So I can add more details, like, okay, this should use some specific AMI. So one instance use a specific AMI, second should use another AMI, this one should first subnet. So here I am choosing the random subnet, so I can put everything here. So you can make like more uh, either flexible or more, yeah, complex, up to you. Thank you. Can we get YAML file for provisioning and destroy? You mean this playbook? Yes, of course. I will share the GitHub URL. If you are, if you have attended a previous session, actually, this is the same repo. I can share it. Ansible. I can share this later. Real life. We have all the repository. I mean, whatever the session we are arranging, we keep our playbooks. This is nothing, I mean, nothing secret, or it's already available on the internet, but we are just collecting, and whatever we tested, whatever we presented on the screen, we will share here. It's already here. You can just access anytime. um, Also, I will add the slides maybe somewhere here, so yeah, it will be easy for you. Yeah, I will. Hope that's the one you asked. Then what else? So you need to set this credential, because last time I shared with a small circle, small group, and they had this issue. They told it's not working, the botto is not. I told, yeah, you need to install and set up your AWS credential. That's not part of this video. So you can follow any blog, anything like that. I think, Yanraj, I think I already explained why you are using Ansible. Uh, you have Terraform, yes, I agree, and there is no harm. Actually, in our last video, we explained what is the good thing about Terraform and Ansible, why we use Terraform plus Ansible instead of, I mean, rather comparing between Terraform, Ansible, what is good and no. It's not actually really mutually replaceable. Terraform is for the IAC, and Ansible is really the configuration management. Ansible have this option to manage this one. Some cases, this Terraform lifecycle is not, maybe may not be suitable for your environment, like Terraform apply, all those things may be not really suitable. In that case, we can use Ansible for this provisioning and management of your infrastructure, including most of the items. Support wise, Terraform can do, most of the providers are already there, like AWS, most of the clouds already there. You can use Terraform for provisioning, but Ansible also have almost similar or maybe more support. But Ansible has a full life cycle, like you can provision, you can configure these instances or your network device or whatever the things, and you can proceed with the next life cycle, like destroy, uh, yeah, anything. So it's not like Terraform or Ansible is good, but Ansible you can use. So I'm just explaining that one, that's all. Can you please share? You can, whatever you are watching now, it will be recorded and it's available. You can access it anytime. Yes, it will be available anytime in the same channel. So you can subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe and you will get notification, or you can just watch it from the same channel. Yeah. Last video, maybe I can show this here. Sorry for that one. It's here. Sorry. So where is it? Okay, we have this video here. You can access from website, or you can access from YouTube. Maybe I can give you the link here. Okay. So this session was done, I think 1 or 2 weeks ago, and we covered how to use Ansible plus Terraform. So provisioning part will be handled by Terraform. Like in our case, we use Terraform for provisioning. And if you want the code, we have this code here, Terraform code here. So yeah, feel free to access and use it. So we have this code here where we have Terraform plus Ansible. So Terraform will provision and Ansible will configure the machines. Okay, you are welcome. Okay. Um, so this thing, maybe you can, okay, I paste in the chat. So that's it. Hope you got some idea about how to use Ansible for the provisioning and for managing the infrastructure. And yeah, that's all for the session, and that's what I mean. If you want to ask any question, if you want, anyone can want to share anything, yeah, please let me know. You can uh, go through that one. And thank you again for joining the session. Hope yeah, I got one topic from today's session. Thank you for that question. Yes, try a session for Ansible plus OpenShift. I need to plan. We have to check the schedule because it's all we are doing during the free time. So we have to prepare, and I will try my best to arrange one for that. Yeah, I'm not committing a date, but yeah, I will. Yeah, we will do. We will try. Um, I think I didn't miss. Terra, okay. I strongly recommend to use a good IDE. It's up to you, but VS Code is very convenient for me. So you have the integrated terminal. You have most of the plugins here. So you can install Ansible plugin here, and it will throw you all the errors. So for example, what's a good thing? If I make some mistake, right? So here you can see it's a 0. Maybe I can hide the banner so you will see. So you can see this 0 error here in the bottom. So if I make some mistake, maybe I put extra tab here. Ansible, if you enable the syntax, it will show the error here. Okay, there is an error on your playbook, like that. So you can enable that. I didn't enable because I have some other sessions, other work going on, so I have disabled this. So So if you enable, you will see all the error, all the issues here. So you can enable that kind of thing here, and it will be very easy. Instead of you execute the playbook, see some error, go back, check the typo. No, it's good that if the IDE can show you the error, it will be easy for you to um, do this development, playbook development more faster. Thank you all for joining again. And we have this feedback form. If you want to submit any topic for our next session, we will, yeah, always welcome. So please, you can scan the QR code and just, you don't need to put your name or email address. It's just for collecting how it's working, what went wrong, what went, good, and suggest the topic as well. And you can follow these social media pages. You will get all the latest events details. And we have a live session scheduled next week, coming week, 10th August, same time, where one of our member, Nived, will explain how to use, what is a kind of introduction to the container fundamentals, like what is container, why using container, what's the difference between the virtual machine and container, all those things. Very basic one, very introduction one. So if anyone interested, you can just join on 10th August, same time. So we will publish the poster and event details. I think already published, so you can check the LinkedIn for details, or the YouTube channel. You will see the upcoming live sessions. If need help, you can ask in YouTube comment system. Of course, we will check the comments, and whenever we are free, we will reply. Okay, so that's it. So try to join the session and ask any questions as needed. And for today, I think we are good. I don't see any other questions. In that case, maybe I will wait for a few more minutes in case anyone want to ask the question. I will share this uh, slides, repository links, everything under the YouTube video description. So check that later if anyone missed. And also we have this course, like kind of all the videos for Ansible. Um, Ansible course. So you will see all the very basic kind of absolute for the beginners one. So you will see all the chapters here. Okay. So in case anyone very new to the Ansible, okay, you can try this one. So we try our best to explain the basic or the core things. We have some, I think, more than 30 videos. It was a kind of a challenge earlier. So yeah. Is this IAC comes with Ansible Tower? No, nothing to do with Ansible Tower. So this is just like we can do with any Ansible, just engine. I'm doing without. I'm just using Ansible. I have the Python environment. I'm just using the Ansible there. You can use any Ansible engine. No need Ansible Tower or Ansible AWX. So the only thing, like, you have to handle it from the CLI. Other one you can schedule. You have more control. Yeah, like that. So you have this series here. So always, if anyone really want to learn something, you can try these, and always update in the YouTube comment. We will try. If anything not clear, we can post new videos. And we have whatever the real life. Actually, these all we plan as a real life series, like what we do, what we use Ansible for in our production or in our organization. That's why we call this series Ansible Real Life. So these videos are available in uh, Ansible Real Life. So just watch the video if you miss any, and let us know if anything. If you want to suggest some topic, please. Yeah, always welcome. Um, Think good. This video will be added to the playlist later, so it will be easy for you, for the viewers to watch. I think we are good. Clean up. Are good. Okay. Make sure if you are testing, make sure clean up, because I think you will be using Ansible free. Sorry, the AWS free tier, and don't be in trouble by keeping the instance running. All those things, and even if you are using the Elastic IP or something, make sure it's using, or otherwise make sure it's deleted, um, to avoid any kind of billing issues later. Okay. What else? I think good. Good. Actually, we cover most of the items. Again, please scan the QR code if possible, and suggest the topics, and also share the feedback. How it was, how was the audio, how was the screen, how was um, sharing demonstration slides, anything you want to adjust. Yeah, because this one we are doing for both, like you can learn and we all can learn together. So suggest. Um, if no other questions, maybe which mic you are using presentation? If you sure, I don't mind. I'm using a mic called the Newer. I can give you the link later, maybe in the YouTube. Let me see if I have the link for that one. Hold on. It's a kind of a very, not that cheap but not that expensive one. So maybe give me a second. Okay, I just pasted the link for that mic. I bought it from Amazon. If you want, you can try. Yeah, thank you. So this one is easy for me to talk instead of connecting the collar mic or the laptop one. So I believe the audio is good compared to the laptop mic. Thanks for asking. I think we are good. Quite good. And thanks again for joining. Stay safe. Again, yeah, good. Thank you for joining again. Stay safe. See you next time with another session. Please join our next session here, and ask your questions. He's very good in this technology, so join and ask questions. You will sure, enjoy the session. And in that case, we will end the session. Thank you all. Bye bye. See you next time with another video. Bye. Good night. Stay safe.